Good afternoon, everyone. Call the meeting to order. Joy, would you please call the roll?
He's not here either. Hallie?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Well, thanks everyone for taking the time to attend our special meeting. We'll move to our consent agenda. We have approval of minutes from the December 5th meeting, approval of the December 16th payroll of $136,772.39, approval of a employee appreciation celebration, which is our annual holiday Christmas celebration at the city shed on December 23rd. So let's see what else. Acceptance of the library board minutes and claims in the amount of $281,209.66, of which we do have one large claim from Christner Contracting of $105,402.50. Any questions regarding those consent agenda items? Okay, not entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton.
Second.
Second by Thompson. Please call the roll.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Hallie?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Council, we're going to change the order a bit in our next few items on the agenda. We're going to start with the third item, which is a resolution considering a land acquisition at 905 East Harrison. Mike, if you could give us background on that.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So, Council, as you remember in closed session, we discussed the land acquisition negotiations happening with the Fairfield Golf and Country Club for the addition to Step 1 that will, our conveyance line that will go through that particular piece of property. We have gone back and forth with the Golf and Country Club. They've negotiated in good faith. We negotiated in good faith. I believe we have an agreement ready for your consideration. The only two things that changed from closed session, I could draw your attention to your packets. We need slightly more easement because of a change in alignment that has been made. So that would change the total permanent easement from 2.49 acres to 2.55 acres. Again, valuing the easement at the same amount changes the total amount from $62,250 to $63,750. So essentially adding another $1,500 of easement because of the additional land needed in the change of alignment. The second item is the amount of temporary easement that is needed, and that particular item has changed from 2.90 acres to 2.92 acres, which added approximately $100 to the total easement value. The third item I would draw your attention to is the 100 cubic yards of topsoil. We agreed to supply a not to exceed amount of $15,000. The country club has actually asked that we provide the soil and deliver those soils instead of providing them a cash line item to acquire the soils. So we negotiated that. I thought that was a pretty reasonable accommodation to make.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the only three changes that have been made to the agreement since we've discussed it in closed session. And I would recommend that we move to approve the easement needed to acquire, to construct the portion of conveyance through the country club.
Move to approve.
Okay, moved by Rasmussen to approve.
Second.
Second by Hamilton. Any discussion? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Okay, thank you. Next, Council will move to our work on approvals for the Step 1 conveyance, and I'd invite Melanie to walk us through that.
So I think when you set the public hearing, we discussed this project a little bit, and we've talked about this portion for a while, especially in closed session. A couple things I would want to point out is that this project does cross Mint, Fillmore, and D. In the specifications, we're allowing for D and Fillmore to be completely closed at that crossing. And so we will be working with the school district to make sure the buses are aware of the change of flow right through there. With Mint being a dead end, we are only allowing one lane of traffic to be closed at a time. Normally I say with any project that is underground, there's a risk of utility interruptions. Well, with this project right now, we're dealing with one property owner. So although there may be utility interruptions, it's not going to affect the largest scale as what we may normally see on a project. With one exception, at the corner of Fillmore and Park and Mint is a large service station for I believe Lisco, and so they will be having to work around those, and the contractor will work with Lisco as whether service has to be interrupted or something like that. I believe it's one of the major feeders for the city. So do the best we can, or the contractor will do the best they can to handle that. Other than that, it's 3,300 feet of 36-inch and 300 feet of 48-inch pipe, including 13 manholes. The engineer's estimate is $1,680,000.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie. So this is a public hearing. Again, this is on the proposed plans and specifications. Is there anyone who would like to speak to the proposed plans? If not, we'll close the public hearing. So then your action, council, would be to consider a resolution approving the plans and specifications for the Step 1 conveyance project.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton.
Second.
Second by Thompson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Okay, thank you. Okay, next, Melanie, report on our construction bids.
All right, so in front of you, you should have a hard copy of the bids that came in today. We had a bid opening at 9 o'clock for this addition to Step 1. There were 3 bidders. I will say, I talked to Tom a little bit right before the bid opening. We had 8 bidders, I believe, on Step 1, but with this project, not only is the construction schedule very condensed, the bidding schedule was condensed, and this is a very reasonable number of contractors for the time frames that we have going here. As I mentioned, the engineer's estimate was 1.6. The low bid was to Langman Construction of Rock Island, Illinois, at $913,501.72. Second was SM Hentages of Jordan, Minnesota, who is the contractor for the other portion, at $1,415,572.97. And the third bid was Graf Excavating of Toledo, Iowa, at $1,515,762. There is, as you see, there is a large difference between the low and the second low. I did talk to Mr. Langman before I came to the meeting. He is aware of the price difference. He is aware of the schedule. And although he did not say this outright, my estimation is that the numbers he has is mainly for materials, and that he has steeply discounted his labor cost in order to keep his employees busy over the winter. I confirmed with him of the schedule. His main concern was just the fine grading. If the freezing weather lasts until March 31st, he's a little nervous about the fine grading, but as far as being able to put the pipe in the ground and the manholes in the ground, he has no concerns with that. And so we discussed that at length before the meeting. And French Reniker has worked with Langman. They were the second low on the last project. I feel they're fully capable of doing the project and meeting the desired schedule. So I would recommend awarding to Langman for the addition to Step 1.
Melanie, is there an advantage of continuation of the project sticking with SM Hentagers?
The main advantage is that we know how they work. We've worked out some of the means and methods. We know how to deal with them as far as their backfilling. But as far as the dollars, there's not necessarily a dollars benefit. It's maybe there's a little bit of a learning curve with the contractor, but not enough to hurt the schedule. There is the two contractors, the two projects will have to tie together, and the specifications described how that would work out if it was two different contractors. So I don't see a problem with that as well.
Melanie, this is $500,000 difference in these bids. It's great for us. But did you go through on a line by line basis where some of those large discrepancies are?
Yes.
some of the charges that, is there anything that sticks out to you? I mean, you did mention that the fine grading is something that for instance, they have a 1 cent amount put in for that, where Hentages has 7,500 and Gravid 20,000. What do you think the explanation is there?
That there's no material cost with
Okay,
the
so
fine
they're
grading.
just-
And so I think this is just barely over his material costs for this project.
Right.
Even his equipment is obviously discounted when you look at the fine grading, for example.
I would ask a similar question on line 26 with repair of existing drains. There's a pretty big discrepancy there.
Mm-hmm.
Same theory.
A lot of times contractors bid those low, figuring that there's not going to be as many as what the engineer estimates. The repair of existing drains are tile lines. There's 3 or 4 of them known, and there may be more, there may be less.
Mayor, if I may be recognized.
Sure, go
briefly.
ahead.
I also spoke with Langman, and he has crews laid off right now. He's looking to put work back to work after the first of the year, labor back to work. So he told us that he underbid it just to get his crew back in work. So that's benefits us.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Well, I think from our side, we're concerned about your recommendation as well, because sometimes it's kind of a big red flag. But if you've been satisfied with their work in the past, then certainly we have to take this bid very seriously.
Mayor, I have
Yes.
one question too. We extended this project because we had money that was left over from doing the original step 1. And we were told, we need to go ahead and use this and all of that, so we don't lose a large portion of grant money that went along with it. With this being lower, how much does that leave in between? I mean,
Mike, do you have those numbers?
Yeah, Mayor, if I may.
Mhm.
So we've got about, in very round numbers, 1.5 on the table. When we look at what we're paying, and they're bid at, $9,900,000 and change, what we're paying the country club for land acquisition and course restoration, let's call that another 300 and maybe 15,000. That takes us to let's call it 1.2, 1.3 million. We also have a small piece that needs to go through Yuskevich's property yet.
Mhm.
Our engineer estimates that somewhere between 150 and 200. We believe that's going to use just about every last grant dollar that's available to
well,
us.
that's what I wanted to make sure of, because we do have that grant, and I would
Yep.
hate to see some of that money that's on the table get left there.
Right.
And if we do have something smaller that we can finish up,
Yep.
that's in that $100,000 to $150,000 range,
Yep.
then I think it would be a benefit to us to have that looked at
Yep.
closely.
Our plan is, once we acquire the easement from Yuskevich, to approach this as a change order with this contractor, and that should chew up just about every grant dollar we've got left to us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great, thanks. Well, based on our engineer's recommendation and the very good bid that Langman has provided to the city, we thank the other 2 companies who did bid this project for us, but entertain a motion to approve the low bid.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Thompson. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Hallie,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is that everything for Melanie?
I think there's one
Yep,
on
there's-
Yeah, there's another step 1 here. Go
Yep,
ahead.
your first action
Yep.
item was to just consider them as
Right.
the load, and the second one's actually to award.
Got it,
Yeah,
okay.
we're with allers here, so
Okay,
there's.
that's right.
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
Okay. All right, so the next resolution then, well, it says consideration, okay, would be to accept this.
To make
would be
award.
Make
Yep.
award.
Yep.
Okay, this project to Langman Construction for $913,501.72.
Move to accept the bid.
Moved by Hamilton. Second by,
second.
thanks, second by Thompson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Okay, thanks,
you.
Melanie, appreciate it. Hey, Council, now we'll go back to the top of the agenda item in this area, and that is a public hearing on the downtown facade improvement program. And what I understand is that we are approaching 50% of the project completed, and we are going to review the expenditures thus far and progress on the project downtown.
All right, it's gonna be a little boring for you since you already got the information I'm gonna say.
Okay?
Basically what this is the grant stipulates that you have to have a public hearing, as the project's going on, and their new grant regulations, their new interpretations, they want that done before you get to the 50% so that they can release the funds after the 50%. So I just wanted to make sure I got here before they got another bill that put them over
Okay.
that threshold.
Okay, so we'll open the public hearing at this time. Is there any comment on the facade project in the downtown? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I think a lot of good comments on the completion of one building, and the Elks building is very near completion, but cold weather is going to slow us down.
That was the big thing. I just wanted to make sure you knew that they are going to wind down for the winter and then come back hopefully March,
Okay,
maybe late February, depending on what the weather's like.
okay,
Now they'll take down any scaffolding or any dumpsters that they have in parking spaces. They'll move those as well.
They should, and if they don't, I'll just get in contact with Melanie and
Are they-
make sure that that's all going to
so
be.
if they're going to completely shut down along that same vein, are they going to clear out the alley, or are they going to keep that closed?
I
And
can
keep
ask that
equipment
question.
there? Yeah, because right now we've closed an alley for them, and
Well,
if they can move.
yeah, that's a little different than something on a sidewalk
Oh,
or
yes.
or something parked out in a parking
But if we don't
space
need
on
to
the
have that
street.
closed, then we better have that open too. So,
Yeah, if that's the case.
yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
I will make sure that those are clear for you.
Okay.
They're gone.
Any questions, council? Any concerns? Okay.
That's great.
All right. So a resolution that we have reviewed and considered the expenditures associated with the downtown facade improvement program. Approve it to go forward from here.
So moved.
Moved by Thompson,
Second.
second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by
One
saying
question,
aye. Yeah.
Donna. Mike, were you able to find out
I
about
haven't
that?
touched base with Brad about that yet.
If you look on the second page of the resolution, there's a number that does not add up. And just want to make sure if we're going to pass the resolution, we have the correct figure in there. If you look at the top, budget, second from the right, balance remaining, highlighted number on the bottom is too small.
Oh, yep.
Do you have a new updated number for us? Or
Uh,
should it
would-
just match? the
It'll
one?
match that one at the bottom there.
Okay,
That
so it should be-
418, 756, 68 is what it should.
Okay. So friendly amendment to the resolution.
Good catch.
Yeah. If it's a balance sheet,
Yeah.
then it should match.
Yeah.
You should balance.
I would accept that.
Okay. So with amending the total in that one section, we'll go ahead and call the roll.
Thompson,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
Alley,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming over.
You bet. If you got any questions, you got my number.
Yeah.
Just
Great.
get a hold of me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. Next, Council, we'll move to our next resolution. Mike, can you give us background on this, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Very exciting time. I know Councilmember Hamilton spent a lot of time on this, and it's been a culmination of years' worth of work and flow studies and rate studies and lots of other things that have finally got us to a point where we are ready to go out to bid for the construction of our wastewater treatment plant. So the resolution before you today, there's two of them. One orders construction, one orders construction and fixes a date for the public hearing on the plant. The other orders construction and fixes a date for the equalization basin. We'll bid them as two different packages because they're work that really, two different contractors could really take those packages and bid them separately, and we could get very competitive bids on it.
So we have our interim financing in place. We have grant dollars. We have a loan with the USDA. We are now ordering construction of these with those two things in place. They're the two separate items with the plant and the basin. And you're absolutely right. An awful lot of good work's gone into this thus far. So with great anticipation and pleasure, we will
Big sigh of
call
relief.
for a motion to approve the resolution to order the construction of the wastewater treatment plant.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. And then a resolution ordering the construction of the equalization basin as part of that project.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. All right, great. Thanks very much. And Mike, in your report?
I just want to put a reminder that city offices will close Friday, December 23rd at noon, and then we'll reopen Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning after the holidays.
And hope we see everybody next Friday
Friday.
at noon.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Hamilton, second by Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Meeting adjourned.